All right, guys. So some of you may be really visual like myself. So I always like to write down on paper like just a real simple illustration of what is wholesaling. So before that, we'll just say wholesaling is a type of flipping properties.
Absolutely.
You see it on TV. You'll see the guys, flipping houses, and you usually associate that with doing rehab or doing a lot of work on the property. Well, wholesaling is a type of flipping where you don't necessarily do the work. So you're going to go out and get a property under contract, and then you're going to sell it to another investor.
Hmm.
So you're either going to sell the rights to the contract, or you're actually going to close on the property and resell the property. So it's just flipping the house, a little bit different way to do it. Here's a simple illustration of what is wholesaling. So in a transaction, you're going to be B in this example. So the original seller is going to be A, and you're going to be the buyer B in the left side of the screen. Then when you find your other seller, your investor buyer, they're going to be the C in this. So when we even talk to our title companies, we say we're going from AB, BC. This is our AB side of the contract, and this is our BC contract. It makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, when we send them our contracts, we actually will even label those. 123 ABC Street, and then in the parentheses we'll put AB or BC just to kind of make it clear to them. So absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, it doesn't really matter if you are selling the contract via an assignment or if you are double closing. You're still going to have an A to B side. You're still going to have a B to C side. And again, you are always going to be the B. You're going to be in the middle of this transaction.
Exactly. So let's use an example then. So Dave and I went out and we wrote an offer for a property for $100,000. And we said, Mr. Seller, this is what we can do for the property because it's distressed. Let's say the property's worth $180,000.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing our due diligence, and this is what the market's at, minus the repairs that are needed for this property, we can offer you $100,000 cash. Seller signs the contract. We sign the contract. Like Dave said, we're going to take that. We're going to say contract AB, send that to our title company.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next step is marketing that property for a little bit more. And we found our C buyer then, so our end buyer or investor, who was willing to pay us $110,000 for that property or the interest in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And we take that BC contract then to the title company and bring it to closing, and we get paid a check for $10,000.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much all it is.
Doesn't really get much easier than that, folks. Now, if we were to assign this contract, so our A to B to our B to C, we would walk with $10,000 at closing. We wouldn't even need to go to closing. If we were to close on this and then resell it, we would walk with roughly $9,000 because we'd have a little bit of closing costs. And depending on the state that you're in, you may not even need to bring any money to closing if you can get those two to close on the same day. That would be called dry funding. So you could actually go to closing and use the C person's money to close with the A. But again, that's a little bit more higher level. We want to just keep this very, very simple. So to recap, wholesaling is flipping properties, and the property is under contract. Then you then sell the contract. The seller would be your A. You will be in the middle as your B. You then take that contract or that property, and you find a buyer, which will be your C, and you sell it, and you make a profit. Really, really, really simple. That is wholesaling, folks.
ABC.
ABC.
That's all it is, guys.
Keeping it simple, guys.
Right.
So that's pretty much it for this module. We're going to wrap this up.
Thanks, guys.